Trinidad Legacy Stories, The Americans. Brought to you by the National Gas Company, at the forefront of energy.
At the National Cocoa and Chocolate Museum, we have a lot of American artifacts because this was also one of the early estates to employ the American workers to live and work on this plantation. These artifacts date right back to 120, 150, 200 years ago. This was one of these spaces established, basically built by the hands of the Americans. Now, the Americans were granted 16 acres of land, and these are some of the oldest cadastral sheets that you have in the country existing right here. And on this side here, we have the estate labor pay list, which gives the breakdown on a fortnightly basis on what the workers would have done over their fortnightly period and how much money they were paid. So you have Huggins here, Sampson, Hamilton. Over here we could see that some of them worked for 10 cents in the 1930s here, 20 cents. And for the week, they would get $2.78, depending on what work they did. Here we have one of the artifacts used by the Americans, and this here is one of the bandsaw. And this is what they used long ago to cut a tree down. So one person would be on this side, another on this side. The Americans were already skilled in taking care of horses back in America. So when they came here to Trinidad, when they were brought here, this was something that they were really, really good at. So any plantation owner would want to have them as an asset. Having a structure that exists today here at this place in Rock River, Moruga, that is very important for me today as a young person growing up in this society. I wanted to do as best as I could to help preserve this heritage and culture that my generation and those after me could really see, experience, and have that appreciation for their heritage.
Hashtag I am American. I am descended of escaped Virginia slaves who fought in the Great American War of 1812 and then were rewarded. Rewarded and given their freedom in land to settle in Trinidad.
I've always known our story, I've always known our genealogy. The piece pretty much chronicles the story in terms of Amphy and Bashana Jackson. They would have come from along that Chesapeake Bay, most likely Virginia. They would have come to Trinidad with nothing.
Amphy and Bashana Jackson, an African-American couple brought as refugee slaves by the British colonials to Trinidad between May 1815 and August 1816. Bashana, the definition of a virtuous woman. When she finished, purchased the husband freedom. She purchased woman again. The woman birthed 17 children, including twins and a triplet, which did not survive. 12 children grew to adulthood, 6 boys and 6 girls.
They educated their children, they understood Gayap and Susu and these kind of things. So when I take personal umbrage when I hear people using terms like Susu out of context. Because what you had emerging last year that people were calling Susu was a bastardization of what Susu actually is. You understand what I mean? So, and it is very much as a result of the fact that we haven't taught it. We haven't told people, we haven't educated them. We don't understand that these are our legacies to take control of. So as a result, people feel that they could take it and change it and turn it into whatever they want to turn it into. I'm aware of the fact that somewhere along the line that outreach and that advocacy fell off. So as a result, there's a little bit of a disconnect now with our young people. And I feel as though it is my responsibility to do what I can do as a creative advocate to continue to tell this story. The story deserves to be told. It needs to be told. We have too many of our young people who are lost. They are drifting. They have no idea who they are. They are unaware that their story, the story of blackness, of Africanness, of our power goes beyond the imagery of the slaves on the slave ship. What would I want to tell young people, young American people? I would want to tell them that there's power in knowing your history. There's power in knowing who you are, and there is power in loudly proclaiming who you are, letting people know. Yes, I mean, unity is wonderful. All of we is one is wonderful, but there's also power in our group identity. And taking the ideals and the story and employing it in how you choose to live your everyday life.
I am a sixth generation #American of the lineage of Amphi and Bashana Jackson. Me ain't never changing my last name.
Trinidad Legacy Stories, The Americans. Brought to you by the National Gas Company, at the forefront of energy.